Alright, boys, I'm back. So, you know what that means? Another wrestling show must have happened, and boy, did it. Wrestlepalooza, the biggest show of the year. A WrestleMania show we were promised. And did we get that? No, of course not. We did not get that because it is WWE under Triple H. So, what did we get? We got 4 hours of boring wrestling, ads everywhere, and corporate dick sucking. So, let's get right into it. The show opens up with a new video intro package. You know how the WWE always plays that stupid video that says then, now, and forever? Well, now they got a new one. And would you guess, would you believe it, that Triple H is all over it? Not only is he the one that's doing the voice, but even in the video itself, he is featured in it. Somebody that does not wrestle is for some reason on the opening video of a wrestling product. And not only that, no. The opening of the show was not only wasted on that video intro, but right after that corporate bullshit, we went into another 20-minute long corporate bullshit video sucking off ESPN and WWE when WWE went on Netflix for the first time. This is just the same shit all over again, but this time they're not bending over for Netflix, they're bending over for ESPN. And of course, Triple H is the one narrating that corporate dick sucking, and the show then finally opens up. We go to the ring, we are done with the corporate dick sucking, and what is the first thing we see of this major new show that is supposed to justify to the world of why you should be paying for a new streaming service just to watch some WWE content? Not all, you still have to keep the 5 other streaming services that you have, but if you want to see some of the WWE content, you have to buy ESPN now. So who do we see? Do we see a legend of the sport? Do we see a current wrestler? Do we see a main eventer? Do we see the future of the company? Somebody that's gonna carry this company to something great? No, of course not. We do not get any of that. We get Triple H because this man loves himself more than anything in the world. And not only that, but he has the audacity to stand in the middle of the ring on top of a Papa John's ad and look at everybody and tell them that this is a new beginning for the company. I thought Raw on Netflix was a new era for the company. I thought Netflix was gonna change up this company. I thought this company was gonna become legendary and awesome now because they're on Netflix. But apparently now ESPN is gonna do that for them. And one thing, in this boring ass lazy promo that Triple H does, just to waste time because he just loves being on camera, he threw in a line in there that really got my attention. I don't have it word for word, but he said something like this. Something stupid. He said, "Welcome, and tonight, if it is your first night." And when he said that, I immediately thought that there's no new people watching this garbage. The WWE hasn't gained any new fans in years. So for Triple H to go out there and basically say welcome to all the new fans, he is lying to you. There is no new fans. It's just a bunch of weird marks, idiots like myself, who put myself through torture every week to watch this garbage so I can have something to complain about. After we're done with Triple H wasting everybody's time for no reason, we go into a match. But no, I lied to you. We do not go into a match. We go into more waste of time where they just throw some ads and ads and ads. Michael Cole talks and talks and talks. He says nothing. And then Pat McAfee. Oh, I forgot about Pat McAfee. All right, so Patrick Starr returns to commentate for this show. It was a big fucking deal apparently because not only did they waste time showing him show up, but as he was walking backstage, Triple H, the egomaniac, runs behind Pat like a little child and like hugs him and says, "Yeah, we can do this, bro, yeah." I don't know what he said, but he probably said some dumb shit. He looked like a damn goof running after Pat McAfee. I know this guy is obsessed with celebrities and the camera, but does he really have to run after Pat McAfee on live TV? That was embarrassing. That is basically the CEO of WWE running after a goddamn podcaster. An executive that controls the TV product for this whole company was running after Pat McAfee like a little fangirl. It was embarrassing. I know nobody fucking told him to do that. He definitely did that on his own free will. It ruins the credibility of the company when the guy that is running the company and the guy that wants to be the face of the company is running after C-tier celebrities like a little fangirl. So let's get into the first match. And unfortunately, this first match was the best match of the night. And I say unfortunately because this match sucked ass. So it is Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. Brock Lesnar comes out and he looks massive. This guy must have put on like 10 pounds of muscle. He is somehow bigger than before. How does he do it? It is impressive. And then John Cena comes out with his biggest fans as the ring announcer is announcing both people before she can do Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman comes out and he announces Brock Lesnar, which was a good moment because everybody likes it when Paul Heyman announces Brock Lesnar because they can all sing along to it or repeat it back to them, whatever they do. So why was this match disappointing, but also somehow the best match of the night? Well, have you seen SummerSlam 2014? In that show, those two wrestled, and the match could basically be broken down into this. Lesnar does a suplex, he walks around for 5 minutes, John Cena's on the floor selling, John Cena does 2 hope spots, Brock Lesnar puts an end to it, repeat for 20 minutes, Brock Lesnar wins after spamming F5s to John Cena. And tonight, we had that exact same match. This match was SummerSlam 2014 all over again, but it was worse because they are 10 years older and they can't do it as good as they did back then. So what happened in this match? Well, we got clotheslines from Brock Lesnar to John Cena. John Cena was flopping around like a dead fish on the ground, while Brock Lesnar was just walking around fixing his pants all match long. John Cena had a few more hope spots than in SummerSlam, but it was still not enough. It was Suplex City. Not as much, but it was still quite noticeable, and that was pretty much it. The ending of the match, though, really pissed me off because it was some indie here booking. This is how the ending of the match happened. John Cena hit 3 different AAs back to back on Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar kicked out. So we just destroyed the AA. Wonderful. And then Brock Lesnar hits 6 F5s back to back, pins John Cena, thank God. He doesn't kick out. He goes out, comes back, he gives an F5 to the ref, and then he gives another F5 to John Cena. So John Cena ate 7 different F5s in a span of 10 minutes. And that was the whole match. It was finisher, spam towards the end. It was clothesline, suplex city, hope spot, and then just rest. It was so boring, bro. It was so fucking boring. Why do they keep doing this? Why do these two have the same match over and over again? And why was this match booked this way if we have already seen it multiple times? Who booked this match? I know Triple H definitely did not book this match. He definitely didn't even know what was happening in this match because he was too busy recording a ad for something or going on a random podcast that you never heard before so he can talk about himself and be in front of the cameras because Triple H really likes the cameras. This level of booking is indie-rific. You would see this shit in an indie show you've never heard of in the middle of a school backyard somewhere with 2 no-name losers doing this garbage, just spamming finishers after finishers and kicking out. But this was John Cena and Brock Lesnar doing that. This company can't book a wrestling match anymore. WWE, the wrestling company, doesn't know how to book wrestling matches. This match was so fucking disappointing. It was such a letdown. Brock Lesnar picks up the win, and hopefully we never have to see Brock Lesnar or John Cena wrestle ever again. After that disappointment, we move on to the second match of the night, which was the Usos versus the Vision, made up of Braun and Braun. So what was this match? How was this match? Well, this match was absolutely forgettable. Nothing happened in this match. This match was the definition of taking up space and wasting time. This match had no heat to it, no juice to it, that they had to put LA Knight as the special guest referee, and he still didn't do anything. LA Knight as the referee was a non-factor at this match. He should not have even been there. He did not do anything to drastically change the outcome of this match. The only time that this match got somewhat interesting was towards the end where Jey Uso was cut open in a bad way. There was blood all over, and this match had weapons involved. It wasn't an Extreme Rules match, but LA Knight didn't care about the rules, so he allowed weapons to be used. And even with weapons, this match was so fucking forgettable, bro. Nothing happened in this match. And it's quite sad to say that because Braun Breaker is in this match, and he is the best chance that this company has to a future main eventer. best years are being wasted in garbage matches like this. This guy is not gonna make it. This guy is not gonna be the face of the company if they waste him on boring, worthless matches with Jay and Jimmy. They need to do something drastic with him. They need to give him something better to do, or they need to have him break up with the Vision already because he is being wasted. Let's go on to the third match of the night, and it was Stephanie Vecker versus Io Sky for the vacant Women's World Championship. And this match too was a snooze. Nothing to report. When this match started, the wrestlers immediately shake hands in the middle of the ring. So my interest in this match went out the window as I saw. There was no story, there was no feud between this match. So all we had to care about is watching these two wrestle and give it all their best. And now they are shaking hands in front of all of us. So they are friends, and we do not care because there's no rivalry and there's no competition between these two broads. They're just happy to be there. Oh, let's just shake hands in front of everybody. We can't do that backstage. We gotta do that in the middle of the ring to show everybody that we really respect each other. Fuck storytelling. Fuck bringing interest into this match. Fuck giving this match any sort of heat. No, we are friends and we are happy to be here. WWE really needs to cut it out with the handshaking and the promos where everybody comes out there and tells each other how much they respect each other. We do not care that you respect each other. We do not care that you are friends. We do not care that you shake your hands. We want to see a wrestling match. We want to believe that you two hate each other and you will do everything you can to win. But if you shake your opponent's hand right before the match for the World Championship, it's just telling everybody that you don't really give a fuck. You don't care if you win or lose. You're just happy to be there. So why would people care in your match? And of course, nobody did. The crowd was dead for this match. The only interesting spot in this match was towards the end where Stephanie Vecker went to the top corner and did a beautiful top rope move. I forgot what it's called, but it was 10 out of 10. And Stephanie wins the Women's World Championship. Let's move on from that shit show to match number 4. The most hyped match of the night. It is AJ Lee with Punk versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Before I get into the match itself, Seth and Becky came out looking like goofs. Absolute idiots. Who told them to wear that garbage? I know they're trying to do like the old 90s aesthetic where wrestlers wore this outlandish styles and crazy clothes like Macho Man, but Macho Man had charisma, character, and the in-ring ability to back up his weird wardrobe, while Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch have none of that, so they are just dressed like idiots on live TV and they think it makes them unique. This match was a huge letdown for the hype that it received. Everybody was excited to see AJ Lee return, and unfortunately, I am a dickhead, so I will point this out. I know she's been outside of the ring for years now, but there were a lot of botches in this match, and a lot of them came from AJ Lee and Punk. Surprisingly, Seth and Becky didn't botch that much in this match, but AJ and Punk were fucking up moves every other minute. This match was clunky, it was slow, it was boring. The beginning of this match was the same shit that you see in every tag team match in the WWE. The heels hold down the babyface so the babyface can build up to the hot tag. So for 15 minutes, we had Seth Rollins just playing tug of war with CM Punk in the middle of the ring and nothing happening. Becky Lynch got involved with AJ Lee, sometimes pulling her off the apron, making sure that Punk can't tag her in, and that was it. The story was Becky Lynch did not want to go in that ring for the first half. When the hot tag finally happened and AJ went in the ring, that's when the botches really started happening. Towards the end, they stopped caring about who was legal. All competitors were in the ring 24/7. Nobody cared about tagging in, tagging out anymore. It was basically an AEW tag team match where they say it's a tag team match, and then the Young Bucks, for some reason, just go in the ring at the same time together and do their stupid spot monkey moves. The ref doesn't try to stop them. It was basically that. This match had no flow. It was botchy, it was slow, and it was stale. The biggest spot was when Becky Lynch threw AJ to Punk and Seth, and that caused the three of them to go through the announce table, and then Becky Lynch moved into the ring with AJ. AJ turned around and she tapped out Becky Lynch, so AJ Lee and CM Punk pick up the win. Hooray, the baby faces win. Let's move on to the last match of the night, but before we do that, we have some more Triple H cringe we gotta talk about. So, Wrestlepalooza. Everybody thought that this show was gonna be the shit, or they were gonna bring some big names out there because they need to justify to the world that is a good deal for you to be paying $30 for ESPN to watch some WWE content. So, did they bring out any big names, any big stars from yesteryear? Well, no. There was no Stone Cold, there was no Rock, there was no Mick Foley, but there was the artist formerly known as The Undertaker that came out on his bike as the badass gimmick. And maybe he was gonna cut a cool promo, he was gonna say something interesting, but no. He drives to the ring, he sees who else but Stephanie McMahon sitting ringside, and then he goes into the crowd with her and he tells her it was a surprise to her, by the way. It was a total surprise. She had no idea this was happening. That she will be inducted in the Hall of Fame next year, and we actually wasted valuable time with that shit. While the WWE Hall of Fame is a good gimmick, and it is important, it is just that, a fucking gimmick. It is not like the Baseball Hall of Fame, a Soccer Hall of Fame, a Football Hall, and name any sport in the world. It's not on the same level as that, because those sports are actually real. Those people have skill and talent that nobody else has. While wrestling is a predetermined form of entertainment, it is not a sport. And that's not me saying that. Vince McMahon went out there and said that they are not a sport. They're a form of entertainment. The WWE Hall of Fame, they control who goes in. They tell you if you go in. It is predetermined if you go in based on your booking. So with that being said, not only do we have to waste precious time of Undertaker coming out and saying that Stephanie McMahon will be entered in the Hall of Fame, but then Stephanie McMahon started crying about going into the WWE Hall of Fame, a Hall of Fame that her husband controls, might I add. Triple H says who goes in the Hall of Fame and who doesn't. So this chick is out here on national TV crying about going into a Hall of Fame that her husband controls. No shit, you were going in the Hall of Fame. Why are you acting surprised? Why are we supposed to believe that you did not know that this was happening? Why are we wasting our time with these stupid gimmicks and mark activities of the Hall of Fame? Before Triple H, before all this garbage, when Vince McMahon was still running the show, the Hall of Fame was there, but they didn't waste time on TV doing shit like this. There was the event, 5 minutes at WrestleMania, and that was it. They didn't do these stupid lies where Triple H had no idea he was going into the Hall of Fame, and now Stephanie McMahon also had no idea she was going in the Hall of Fame. They didn't insult the people's intelligence, but this is just insulting your intelligence, and it is mark bullshit. It is self-indulging bullshit. Can you imagine if Vince McMahon, while he was still in the company, had a section on a pay-per-view where one of his wrestlers came out and told Vince McMahon that he was going into the WWE Hall of Fame, and Vince McMahon acted surprised like he had no idea this was happening? People would have lost their shit and be calling it out. But now that this has happened, not once, but twice, we are supposed to take it serious, and we're supposed to be clapping and say, yeah, you deserve it. You deserve what, bro? The Hall of Fame is fake. Your husband controls it. What is the point of this? We wasted precious time to watch a stupid announcement for a fake Hall of Fame for a sport that is predetermined. Why are we here? Why are we wasting time with this? Why are you insulting our intelligence? Are we truly supposed to believe that Triple H didn't tell Stephanie McMahon that she was going to the Hall of Fame? This was such a surprise that she had to cry on national television too, and she had to be on national television when this was happening. My husband controls the company that controls the Hall of Fame, but how could I ever know that I was going to the Hall of Fame? Stupid. Just fucking stupid. Just insulting our intelligence. And after that level of idiocracy, we go on to the main event. It is Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
For the WWE Undisputed Championship. And of course, would you believe it, but this match too also sucked ass. You all know how I feel about Drew McIntyre. This match did not suck ass because of what he did. It was not his fault. I do not blame him at all. Drew McIntyre is still one of the best in the company right now. But this match sucked ass because he was in the ring with that bum Cody Rhodes that can't wrestle his way out of a wet paper bag. Do not like Cody Rhodes, and I do not like like his wrestling style, or his wrestling gimmick, or his character, or his look, or his entrance, or his moveset, or his title run, or anything about him when it comes to wrestling. So how was this match? Well, it was a Cody Rhodes match. It was boring, lame, botchy, and garbage, and of course, Cody Rhodes wins because it's Cody Rhodes. If the WWE wasn't predetermined, if nobody knew that it was predetermined and people were actually allowed to bet on the WWE, we would all be millionaires by now because Triple H is the most predictable booker of all time. Nothing exciting or unexpected happened in this show, and I can prove it. So first match, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. Same shit all over again. Brock Lesnar wins. Of course, Brock Lesnar wins. He returned. They gotta make sure that he has momentum going towards his return. Match number 2, the Usos versus The Vision. Of course, The Vision won because they are the big bads of WWE and they're associated with the world champion. So of course, you gotta have them win. Match 3, Stephanie versus Io. Of course, Stephanie was gonna win because Io was already world champion. So it's Stephanie's time now to be world champion because that's how that works. Everybody gets time with the title. Everybody gets the opportunity to be champion. You don't earn it anymore. You don't have to do anything cool or anything interesting. No, everybody just gets turns with the belt. It is what it is. It doesn't matter. It's WWE. Match 4, AJ and Punk versus Seth and Becky. Of course, AJ and Punk were gonna win because AJ just returned. You can't have the returning superstar lose. Absolutely not. You gotta have her go over so she has momentum going towards her return, and then you can also continue the story because she pinned Becky Lynch, who is a champion. So of course she was gonna win. And then match number 5, Cody versus Drew. Of course Cody was gonna win. Cody always wins. There is never a time where Cody doesn't win. They have made it extremely obvious that Triple H loves Cody Rhodes and sees him as his champion and as the person that he wants to carry this company. And Drew was not gonna win because Drew has been booked like a fucking jobber for months now. So of course Cody was gonna win. Cody always wins. Cody beat John Cena. John Cena hit Cody with at least 20,000 different AAs and Cody kicked out. So of course Cody was gonna win. So if we could bet on this shit, I could be a millionaire by tomorrow because everybody already knows what's gonna happen. The most predictable shit is gonna happen because Triple H doesn't know how to do storytelling. And sticking with the idea of storytelling, what was one thing we were all told about this show? This show is gonna be great. This show is gonna be massive. This is gonna be the biggest show of the year. This is gonna be the next WrestleMania. Triple H is in his office writing stories, coming up with ideas 24/7 for this show. If this was all that Triple H could have come up with after spending 24/7 in his office for days writing and thinking about this show, ESPN should get a fucking refund. If I were ESPN right now, I would be calling up all my lawyers. I would be calling up other lawyers that I don't even know to make sure I can somehow get my money back and get out of this deal. Because this is ESPN wasted billions on this shit and they got a 5-match show that went on for barely 3.5 hours and nothing interesting happened. No big returns, no shocking debuts, nothing. And this was supposed to be the show to justify a $1 billion deal. Maybe there's a 30-day return policy because this is highway robbery. And it's not. And it's not just ESPN getting fucked over here. The fans get felt it too. Not only do we have to now buy Netflix for Raw, Peacock for other random events, and now we have to get also ESPN for pay-per-views. Those are 3 different streaming services that we have to pay for monthly now. And everybody knows, shit ain't hot right now. Economies all over the world ain't doing so good right now. So can people really afford 3 different mid-streaming services just to watch the garbage that Triple H and WWE throw out every week? No, I don't think so. I really think this ESPN deal is gonna fuck over WWE in a big way, and I'm all here for it. The hater juice that I am drinking, just hoping this shit burns. I can't wait to see this shit burn and fall down, and then maybe it can be rebuilt to something better. So, in summary, this show was absolute garbage. Every match was unwatchable and boring. There is no reason to rewatch this show. There is no reason to watch this show if you have not seen it. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Just a waste of time. But, you know, it's WWE. It just loves wasting your time now. So were you all even surprised that this show was a waste of time? But before I go, there is a few news I would like to talk about because apparently a lot of things happen in this wrestling world when I decide to go away for a bit. So, Raja Jackson, I don't know if you guys know him. He's the son of some TNA wrestler, Rampage Jackson. So, he almost killed somebody in some Bush League no-name company that was part of the WWE ID program. Another thing I want to talk about that happened recently is WrestleMania now is going outside of the US. And it's not going into Europe, it's going into the Middle East. It's going to Saudi Arabia, the wonderful, amazing country of Saudi Arabia. And every time I say Saudi Arabia, I get paid $1 million. And, I saw a lot of reactions of this online. A lot of people were surprised. Why, though? Who could have seen that? Who could have seen the billion-dollar company that was already sold out again? It was such a surprise. I think it is absolutely ridiculous that people are surprised or acting like this is the end of the world. It does not matter where WrestleMania is. It's gonna suck no matter what. So it doesn't matter if it's in New York, if it's in Canada, if it's in LA, or if it's in Saudi Arabia. At the end of the day, that show is gonna be hot garbage. And that was it. Those were the few little news topics I wanted to talk about. Rampage Jackson's son almost killed somebody. WrestleMania is going to Saudi Arabia, but it doesn't matter because it is a multi-billion-dollar corporation and they're gonna do everything they can to make as much money as possible. So I don't know why people were surprised that they sold out. And this show was absolute hot garbage. And yeah, just another normal week in the world of WWE. Thank you all for watching.